All right, so take a moment to get into a comfortable position. And sometimes I reevaluate my comfortable position. You might always grab for the exact same setup as far as how much support underneath you need, but every once in a while, make sure that today might be a different day, that you might need some support under your knees or a little extra height or something. So don't forget to close your eyes when you sit and just make sure that your posture is good, okay? That you feel supported, that you feel comfortable. And then once you're assured that your height is good underneath you, pay attention to your sit bones. And just find your way around your pelvis. So maybe a little bit of rocking forward, a little bit of rocking back. Even that can feel really nice, just to have a little mini cat-cow in your low spine. And perhaps pay attention to whether you tend to weight into your left or into your right. And then whether or not, you feel like it's easy to have your spine aligned over your pelvis, to have your head aligned over your spine. Just set your posture well. And then when you do, try not to be frozen within it. Recognize that your breath moves through you. And with every inhale and exhale, you're having a subtle shift in the shape of your body. And allow this to happen. Allow the accommodation of breath to be a part of the flow of your stable posture. Usually something that is stuck isn't so very stable. That part of stability is adaptability, is maneuverability. And this is true for us in our bodies and in our minds. It's also true, just simple things like a building. If you don't have any flex, any give, things usually crack and break. So let's recognize the breath as this flexible, adaptable, movable force within our being. Notice and scan for any tension that you have. Make sure you're scanning the back body as much as the front of your body. And pay particular attention to your habitual places. Often are the base of our skull or the structures of our face, our shoulders can be common places where we hold tension, but for you, you might have a very unique pattern. So go to your known places and melt. Notice if your breath is starting to naturally slow down a bit. If turning inward toward the self is giving your nervous system a chance to calibrate and rest. You feel ready, put your hands over your heart and just ask yourself the question, what do I need? When you bring your hands together at your heart, whatever the answer that came to that question, let's offer an intention to develop this within us. Relax your hands and let's find our way onto our back. Taking your time to ask the internal question of how do you feel or what do you need? And just kind of checking in with all the various koshas of your body is never a waste of time. And it's something that we're not trained necessarily to pay attention to. So as you practice, Notice if some of these needs that you just identified are being met simply by being with yourself. Okay. All right, let's stretch our arms overhead and enjoy some movement in our sides. Reaching one side, reaching the other, and just feeling and enjoying that sense of space in the body. And then draw your knees into your chest. And let's rock a little bit, swaying from side to side. All right, hang on to the knees and let's circle, kind of rolling one direction a few times, letting your head stay heavy on the ground. And then go another way, so switching directions, breathing deeply. And open up your knees away from the middle and bring them back in. So you just feel your hip joints kind of getting a little massage along the rims of your hip joints. Right knee into your chest, left leg long on the ground. And let's do that same kind of rolling action in our ankles. So moving around in the ankle joints, feeling like you can touch, all the sensation that those joints have. Wiggling your toes, getting your feet to move around. Give a good snug hug of that knee, compress it in, and then switch sides. Taking your left knee into your chest, right leg long on the ground, and keep moving. A little bit of flexing and pointing or rolling or inverting or everting. Just keep waking up your feet. Notice your head, let it get heavy. It's amazing how often we can check in with our head, neck, and shoulders and realize that we've created a little tension unnecessarily. All right, good squeeze of that knee. And then stretch open to a star and reach your limbs really wide. Expand. And exhale. Draw your knees into your chest. Head comes up. Again, opening up big and wide, feeling expansive in your body. Then exhale. Draw in. Relax your head down onto the ground and let's cross your right thigh over your left thigh and draw your knees toward your chest. And feel free to rock and sway if that feels good. Feel free to pulse your knees toward your chest if that feels good. Just kind of opening up the back of the hip a little bit. All right, and then reach both legs and both arms overhead, both legs up high toward the sky. Stabilize through your core. Get a little hint of some of the work that we did yesterday. And then slowly lower your legs down toward the ground, kind of waking up the core of your body. Expand to a star when you get down there. And then exhale and draw your knees in. Put your right foot on the ground, put your head back down on the ground. Cross your left thigh over your right thigh and draw your knees in. Drop your shoulders, maybe a little bit of pulsing or swaying, any kind of movement that is wanted, maybe stillness. All right, and then let's lift our legs straight up again, arms overhead, knit the ribs down, feel that stability through your core. Point your toes straight up and then flex your toes straight down. One more time. And then we'll open up our legs out to the sides and just hang out there for a moment, letting your inner thighs open. Reach your arms down in front of you now and stretch through your legs with your arms. Inhale, let your head rest down. Exhale, pick it back up, arms moving through your legs. One more time, head coming back down. Exhale, draw your arms through. Bring your legs back to neutral, knees into your chest, a little bit of rocking, and then roll to your side to come up to your hands and your knees. As we find our way onto all fours, let's enjoy some cat-cows. Okay, so feeling that nice freedom through the spine. Start to check in with your breath. sense into that fullness of inhaling, fullness of exhaling. Breathing deeply. And start to feel your spine move around any way it wants to move. You can wag your tail, you can circle your hips, you can move in your ribs, your shoulders, your head, your neck, all the places. Whatever kind of movement wants to happen, let's invite. All right, and then drop back towards child's pose. Walk the hands far out in front of you. Feel a grounding through the pelvis as you reach your hands. A big breath in, big breath out. Let's walk the hands over to one side of the mat. So there's a deep reaching through your side. Let your head soften and let go. All right, walk your hands over to the other side, feeling that length as you reach. Drop your hips back. Full breaths here. All right, come back up, finding your way to all fours again. Let's reach one arm up in the air, exhale, and take a twist to this side. Enjoy opening your spine in this way. Again, melting your head, letting your neck have no tension at all. Feel ready. Reach that arm all the way back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground. Let's switch sides. Arm lifting high, thread that needle. Gaze toward the ground, find your breath. So you're ready, lift that arm back up in the air, hand high, and then find your hands coming down to the ground, and we'll find a dog pose. So as we're continuing to warm up our body, every time you touch a new sensation, stay present, stay available to it, stay in your breath. Let's pedal your feet and just enjoy the zing through your calf as you drop your heel down, the movement through your hips and your pelvis. Notice your breath and how differently it feels in this pose versus any other position. Feel the fullness of the posture now. So root to rise, feel extension and length. Try to get into all the spaces. Root through your big toe mounds, your index finger mounds, a little inner spiral of your thighs. And then walk your feet forward and come to Uttanasana. Inhale for a halfway lift, extending through your spine. Exhale to melt, coming back down, opening up the back of the body. Push through your feet, rising up, bringing the arms to the sky. Open up, lift your heart. Something as subtle as just lifting the heart up can change a lot in your attitude or your energy level or your emotional state or your mind state. So just notice the shift when you lift your heart. Let's cactus open our chest, give a squeeze to the back of your body, know it's there, and then exhale and round in. Keep your palms together at your heart, pick up your head, drop your shoulders, and pause here in Samastitihi. Find your breath, see if it feels even as it moves through the two sides of your body. Keep your eyes open or closed, whatever helps you focus. Feeling the hands, feeling that touch. And then shift your attention. We have a lot of busyness that happens right behind our eyes and in between our ears. See if we can just shift our focus a little further back into our skull and resting your brain. Try to step just slightly away from the attachment to your eyes and your ears, the primary senses that we focus on a lot. Now, reach the arms up to the sky. And as your exhale comes, reach your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers, open up across your heart. If you need a strap behind you, take a strap. And then let's go ahead and reach forward, come down, open up the fronts of your shoulders a little bit more. Bend your knees. Full breaths here. Relax your skull. Spread open the bones of your feet. Be aware of your feet. Relax your hands down. Let go of the strap if you had one. Inhale for a halfway lift. Melt to fold again. Step back to a lunge. Right foot in front, left foot behind. Ground yourself. Let's start to feel into our legs now. Feel the hip flexors start to open. Let's bend and straighten that front knee. So we're just becoming aware of the stretch through the front of the leg and through the back of the leg. As always, take your breath with you, or rather let your breath take your body with it. However you want to look at it, but just move in that embodied breath way. All right, ground yourself, root into your legs. We're going to take a twist. Reach your right arm up in the air. Left hand can be on a block or the ground. Drop your shoulders. Big breath in. Exhale to twist a little bit more. And then release your hands back down onto the ground. Find your footing. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Extending upward, opening through the heart, maybe a little leaning back. And then take your hands behind you, interclasp them the opposite way from what you just did a moment ago. Heads of the arm bones opening up. Feel the expanse of your heart without compressing your low back. Okay. And then reach forward, arms stay back behind you, unlace them, palms facing the ground, triceps are engaged, push into the ground, find your core, and bring your hands down onto the blocks and lift to a half split. Squaring the hips, let's come up onto your toes, keep lifting that right hip high, descend the heel without losing the ascent of your hip. Feeling that extension and length. As you exhale, drop into a Jiva squat. Squat down, letting your knees support you, bow your head, slowly push your legs straight, waking up a lot of those glute muscles, hamstrings. One more time, exhale, dropping into a squat. Inhale, straightening your leg. Find your breath, square up things here, extend. And then let's place that foot down onto the ground. Okay, a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Step your other foot back. Come to a lunge, left foot in front. Heart is forward. Move with breath. Invite some awareness in your legs again. Feeling the front leg, the back of that leg open up. Feeling the back leg, the front of that leg opening up. Moving with breath. Enjoy your body. Enjoy your breath. Two things that we just can take for granted. You know, we can go about our day and just be living top heavy in our mind and forget to embody our breath, to embody our body. All right, ground yourself. We'll take a twist here. Right hand on the block or on the ground, left arm lifting up to the sky. Drop the shoulders away from the ears and hug to the midline. Try not to let your knee flare out, but ground yourself. And then we'll bring that arm back around, root your feet, inhale, rising up. crescent lunge again. Big breaths here. Open up through the inhale, through the exhale. Ground yourself. And interlace your fingers the more normal way behind your back. Open up the heads of the arm bones. Stretch your heart. Lift it again like we did earlier. Be mindful to not compress the low back. We're moving our feet into the earth. Big breaths here. Unwind the arms, but keep the arms back there. Stretch forward with your crown. Engage your triceps. Heads of the arm bones. Lift. Feel your back get stronger. Feel your core ignite. You reach your hands onto your blocks. Let's step up into half splits here, straightening that leg behind you. Squaring the pelvis. Let's lift up onto your toes. And keep the hip lifted as you descend the heel, finding that full length in your leg. Reach your crown to your tail, knit your ribs in, finding breath. When you feel ready on your exhale, let's squat down in. Have faith that your leg can support you, pushing straight on your in-breath. And let's repeat again. Squatting down. And straightening back up. Put your foot down next to your other foot. Touch your toes. Squat down. Let's come to a chair with your arms behind. Okay. And of course, you can put a block between your knees if you need some support. Our arms are stretched back, so we're kind of leaning forward a little bit more than we might normally do. Engage your core. Draw your navel back. Drop weight into your heels. Start to come up a little bit higher. Palms are facing forward. Arms are open. And then when you feel ready, reach the arms overhead. Feeling that extension in your body, sink weight into your feet, maybe a few pulses. So we're sure that our leg muscles are strong and here. Let's twist. Exhale to the right. Inhale back. Exhale to the left. Inhale, come back. Up onto your toes. Find a bit of balance. The worst thing that's going to happen is your heels are going to come down. Maybe bring your arms wider. And place your heels down and pause one more time in Samasthiti. Notice your heartbeat. Notice your breath rhythm. Drop your shoulders. Feel grounded in your legs. Let your belly move. Find that sense that stability isn't a locked state. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, a swan dive forward. A halfway lift. Step back to a dog pose. Breathing in, breathing out. Come forward into a plank. Knit your ribs into your body. Kind of hug toward the center line of your spine. Drop the shoulder blades down the back and root the index finger mounts. Let the inner thighs lift as you stretch your heels back. Put your knees down onto the ground. Find the earth. Couple of shoulder rolls here. Inhale for a cobra. Exhale and melt back down. Take your finger pads on the ground like spiders. Elbows are up in the air. Take a deep breath in. Lift up, turn your head right, stretch your left leg. Exhale, coming back down. Rising up, turn your head left, stretch your right leg. Coming back down. Up on tall fours. Move around in your spine, wagging your tail, finding your breath. Lift to a dog pose. Feel that extension, ground yourself. Lift your right leg up in the air, square the hips, keep them square. Left hip lifting up and back. Stretch all the way to your leg in the air. And then put that foot down. Let's switch sides. Lifting that left leg. Right hip lifts up, square pelvis. Push through both hands. Reach all the way to your foot in the air. Put that foot back down onto the ground. Walk your feet forward. Grab your blocks. Come to a halfway lift. Put your hands high on blocks, high height. So you're really kind of at a right angle with your body. And lift your femur bones up and back. And see what it feels like to really root the thigh bones back, to open up through the spine from the movement of the legs. Relax, bend your knees, and come on up to stand. Let's grab a strap. We're going to do a little bit of balance work. So you can always do this close to a wall if need be. Okay. So we're going to wrap the strap around our left foot. Okay. Hand on your right hip, strap in your left hand. Okay. You can always hold a wall with your right hand instead of hand on hip. Stretch that leg straight out to the side and lift your heart. Drop your left femur bone down, draw your femur bone in, and keep your heart lifting. If you can, open up your other arm to the sky or a little bit wider. See if you can still have that sense of lifting the heart space. Draw your right thigh bone back. Okay, while we're standing here, we're going to open the leg out to the side. I know we haven't done any externally rotated stuff yet. We will do more. Keep that right hip in so we're not sinking. Okay. Find your breath. And then bring that leg back. Hook the strap into the opposite hand. Left arm reaching up. You can always just hold a wall to do this if you need. Twist open with your legs straight. Drop your shoulders, right thigh bone back. Breathing deeply. Okay, and then come back to center. Let go of the strap and enjoy 2 feet. Bring your palms together at your heart. And just pause here for a moment and just enjoy the 2 feet on the ground. It's a hard pose. You know, it's not easy to balance with your legs straight out in front of you or to the side. So I'm going to just show you something before we do the second side. When you come into a posture and you're holding your leg like this, it's very easy to push your hip forward and kind of lean back. So your pose would end up like this. Try your hardest to keep that standing leg femur bone back and stack. Just like we did in the beginning of class where you were sensing the stability of a stacked spine. Okay. The danger of when we push our femur bone back is we tend to lock our knee. So we want the femur bone back, but the knee has a teeny bit of give in it. And then from this angle, we don't want to be shifting our hip off to the side. So we want the hip in, the thigh bone back, the knee soft, the chest lifted. Okay. All right, so let's move to the second side. Again, you can hold a wall. Just turn around if you have a wall close by and you need to hold it the other side. We'll wrap the strap around your right foot, left hand on your left hip, and stretch that leg straight out. Be mindful to keep that left thigh bone moving back so we're not leaning our torso back and pushing our thigh forward. Unlock your knee. Breathing deeply. It doesn't matter how high your leg could be lower. It doesn't matter how high you are. Maybe the arm wants to lift, maybe not. Engage your core. Find that stack from crown to the ground. And then when you're ready, we'll open the leg out to the side. Now, you can Have your other arm open, or you can keep your hand on your hip, or you can hold a wall. Let's not let the hip hike out. Keep that hip in, unlock your knee. Finding your breath. And then we'll bring the leg back to center. Take the strap into the left hand, and then find your bearings. This is the hard part, balance-wise. Left thigh bone is back, lift the spine, heart is open, twist. Round your foot, reach up through your crown. Turn your gaze slowly toward the wall behind you. Don't worry if you lose your balance, it's okay, we're testing the boundaries, we're practicing. If you were frozen, that's not stability. Come back to center and put that foot down. When we have adaptability moment by moment, makes us more stable in the long run than if we're just frozen out, locked, not breathing, locked out joints, not moving. Pause in Samastitihi. Palms together at your heart. And just allow your body to breathe here a moment. A full inhale. A full exhale. Reach the arms up. Exhale, float forward and enjoy that closeness to the ground. We have another balance pose coming, so let's enjoy the ground. A halfway lift. Melt to fold again. Come down to sit for just a moment. Let's feel the ground, get grounded. You can always sit on the edge of a blanket if you'd like for this pose. Cross your legs. Find an upright posture. We're going to do two potential variations of this. You can either have, you either have your, so we're going to straighten your right leg and bend your left knee, left foot is on the floor. Either keep it open like this or cross your leg over, whichever feels like it stabilizes you and keeps your pelvis grounded. Either way is good. We're going to twist left. You can take your hand on your knee. You can take your forearm on your knee. You can take your elbow to the outer knee. Your left hand is behind you, stabilizing you. Pay close attention, no matter which of the variations that you did with your arm. Pay attention to what's happening into your pelvis. Are you wanting to pull your left hip further back? See if you can keep even. And let the twist happen above your hips. Some twists we let the hips move, other twists we try to keep the twist in the upper spine more. This is a stable one where the sit bones are grounding and staying put. How's the breath? Come back to center. Straighten that leg. Let's repeat on the other side. So whether you had the foot open or whether you had the foot crossed, let's try to do the same thing on this side as you did on the other. Hand behind you to support. You can put your hand on your knee. You can put your forearm on your knee. You can put your elbow to the outer knee. Your choice. Okay, so find and notice, it's normal for you to sense that you have a little more range twisting in one direction than the other. We have patterns in our body, so pay attention to the pattern that you're finding. Round your sit bones. Try not to let your pelvis do the turning. It's the spine that's doing the turning. Big breaths. Come back to center. Take the soles of the feet together. Since we're here, might as well just stretch open our hips a little bit. Have the feet farther away from you, not right up against your pelvis. And let's lengthen our spine forward as we press into our knees with our elbows. And just find that nice stretch through your hip joints. We'll get into this position, you know, more of that external rotation in just a moment. I bet it'll feel good. Okay. All right, come up to stand. Move your blanket out of the way. And you might want a wall for this, and you might not. Okay, so we're going to do revolved Ardha Chandrasana, revolved half moon pose. So with a wall, if you were to do this with a wall, you would come into, grab another block, you come into half splits. That would be your way of telling yourself, this is the distance I need away from the wall, so that your legs are square. I mean, your legs are straight and your hips are square, 1 foot on the wall, 1 foot on the ground. So that's a good distance. So if you're gonna use the wall with your foot, that's the distance away to be. The benefit of using the wall is that it turns this pose into a closed chain. You have feedback into that foot in the air instead of just being in the air. But you can absolutely do this pose in the air. And the other thing is you might do the pose with your back leg in the air, not touching a wall, and instead have the wall where your hand, like I'll use my furniture here. So you can use the wall or a piece of furniture to use your arm to hold on to. All right, so now remember, in revolved revolved half moon pose, we're not going into half moon, we're going to revolved half moon. So we're going to start in half splits on our right foot, and we're going to turn our torso to the right. So place your body where you want it to be. Start with your hands on blocks. High blocks are nice. You can even stack one block under the other so they're a little more stable. If you feel like they're very wobbly, get grounded with your blocks. Don't have a high wobbly height. You can use 2 blocks to get the same height as 1 block at its high height. All right, so starting in half splits, extend your spine with 2 feet on the ground first, and then when you're ready, we'll lift your left leg in the air, squaring the pelvis, inner thigh of that left leg lifting to the sky. If you're pushing into the wall, push into the wall. And then we'll start to revolve. So we're turning to the right, opening up to the right. Maybe your hand is on a piece of furniture or the wall. You decide where you're going to be. Twist open. So unlike some of our twisting, this pose we try to keep our pelvis square. So keep lifting that leg so the pelvis is square and the twist is happening in the torso. This is a hard pose. Drop your shoulders away from the ears. Press your foot. And then exhale and come back. Put 2 feet onto the ground. Pause here for a moment. Bend your knees and stand on up. Big breath. Notice if your breath got away from you. It's very easy to forget to breathe when we're trying to have balance. And then we'll move to the second side. So first come into half lift, and then we'll come into half splits, standing on our left leg. Okay. And now our right foot is in the air. If we're against a wall, the right foot presses against the wall. Square the pelvis. Find your blocks the way you want them to be. If one block on its high height feels wobbly, stack 2 blocks on their low height. It'll give you the same height with a lot more stability. Lengthen the spine. Draw your left femur bone back. Square the hips and press into that whole leg all the way to your foot in the air. Start to twist and use your exhales, use your breath to twist open. You can keep your hand on your hip. You can lift your hand in the air. You can hold something like a wall or a piece of furniture. No matter what you're doing, we're breathing. Okay? Keep stable with your core. Push your feet, both of them. Find your breath. Exhale and surrender your foot and your hand down and step back to a dog pose. Feeling that extension, let's take our feet a little wider to the edges of the mat. Maybe even take your hands a little wider so you feel this broad base of support. Full breaths in, Full breaths away. Come back to neutral arms and legs. Come forward into a plank. Stabilize yourself. Put your knees down. Find the ground. Roll the shoulders here. Inhale for a cobra. Melting, folding to come back down. Come back up, swish and sway your spine, and drop back into a child's pose. All right, enjoy how close you are to the ground. Balance poses challenge our nervous system in a very specific way. Let your nervous system relax because you're close to the earth. Let's come up to stand. So you can move through dog pose and walk your feet forward, or you can just come up to stand, however you want to be. Okay. And again, finding Tadasana. Feet are hip width apart. Big belly breaths. Relax the shoulders. Open up through your body. We're going to take our feet wide apart. Let's first just take a deep squat. So we open up our legs in this way, ground your feet. Full breaths here. And then inhale and come all the way up to stand. Turn your right foot out. Your left foot can turn in a little bit. Parsva Konasana, elbow on your knee, and stretch your arm. And just enjoy the wide, broad base. There's not, I mean, yes, there's balance required, but nothing like the poses we just did. So let your body open up into this width and space. Root to rise. Find ground, find breath. Enjoy the stability of your body. Again, notice the fluidity as your body breathes, your shape changes. You accommodate moment by moment. Push through your feet. Revolve your triangle pose. Stretch through your rib cage. Say hi to your ribs. And then we'll find a triangle pose. Our hamstrings hopefully are nice and open from the postures we've already done. So let's feel that grounding. Open up through your heart. Make sure you're staying connected to the back foot. And make sure you're staying connected to the length of your spine. So come on up. And we'll do those same two poses the other way. So first, left foot turns out. Come into Parsva Konasana. Elbow on your knee. Stretch your arm overhead and enjoy the space you're creating. Notice both feet and ground them. Pay attention to how your body changes shape as you deeply inhale and you deeply exhale. Be mindful of your neck. Try to relax. Stay grounded and rooted with your legs. Feel their strength, their stability, their support. Straighten your leg. Reach that left arm up and back, a nice side stretch. And then find your way into a triangle pose, reaching the arm, hand on your leg or a block as you open up your body. Root into your feet, stretch that inner hamstring well. ground your feet so that you're also protecting. We're not just sinking and sagging into that hamstring, but we're active, lifting the femur bone up into the hip joint, extending the spine, grounding your foot. Press through your feet, come back up, a nice wide-legged stance. Bring your hands onto blocks of the ground for a Prasarita. Now notice the balance here. How much broad base you have, how close to the ground you have, multiple points of contact onto the ground. Let your head relax into an inversion. Okay, and then the last pass that we have through a dog pose, turn back to the front of your mat. Enjoy the legs coming back to neutral, root to rise. And we'll come forward into a plank. Put your knees down onto the ground, find the earth. And we're gonna take wide legs and arms down at your sides, palms facing the ground. Lift everything you have up in the air. Finding that stability and strength in the back of you. Let your breath move your body. Come back onto the ground, lift up onto all fours, and move your spine around. Okay, let's take a child's pose and feel that compression. A deep breath in, a deep breath out. Let's come back up. Now you can choose a pigeon pose or a reverse pigeon pose, whatever feels best. Hopefully it'll feel really good to stretch our hips after the standing poses. So if you're in pigeon pose, right leg first. If you're on your back, right foot on left knee or right thigh over left thigh. If you're in pigeon, straighten that leg behind you. Turn around, take a look at that leg. Make sure it's straight back. Make sure the foot's not sickled, that your leg's not extending out to the side, that you have your kneecap on the ground. Find the extension, open up into this full pigeon, and then lengthen your way down. No matter on your back or you're on your front, our head is supported. No matter which position you're in, we have wide sit bones and a long spine. Melt what you can. Come back up. Find your way to a seated posture or onto your back and just put your knees to your chest. And then when you're ready, we'll switch sides. Left leg in front or left foot on top of right knee, squaring the pelvis, lengthening through the spine, stretch forward when you're ready. And you can start, upright and feel that full pigeon posture, breathing deeply. Maybe take a look behind you, make sure your leg is straight. Sometimes it's deceiving. You can have your foot sickled or your leg out to the side without even knowing it. You can also kind of be leaning on one hip and not really finding the fullness of that back leg hip. So just find your square and then lengthen. Once you're down, head is supported. If you're on your back, melt your head. Squaring the hips, wide sit bones, try not to shrink the spine. Elongate. Give room for the fullness of your breath. And in this posture, pay attention to how the breath changes the shape of you, in breath to out breath, constantly shifting. Come out of that posture. Let's just do a quick quad stretch. Okay, so lie down on your right side. You can put a block under your head if you want. Grab your left ankle and stretch that quad and just enjoy. Every time you touch a sensation in the body, just try to enjoy what you're feeling. And even if it's not a pleasurable sensation, shift your awareness to just be around being aware of sensation. You can be neutral, even if it's not pleasurable. Just relax that. Roll to the other side. Grab onto your right wrist. The knees are bent. You can have a block or a blanket under your head if you need it. Reach back and then bring your heel close to your buttocks. You can use a strap if you can't reach. Try to stack your hips and shoulders, stabilize your pelvis, and just open up your quad. You can even draw your whole thigh back to get a more of a hip flexor stretch in that quad. Just see what feels good. All right, and then relax that and come on to your back. As we start to prepare for Shavasana, just decide, do you need a little happy baby? What do you need? Is there anything that you need? There's no right or wrong way to finish your practice, so just follow your instincts. When you settle and feel ready, there's no rush to be ready. And when you are, make sure that your body is comfy, that you have the support that you need, that your body can rest well. So that could mean better support, that could mean warmth, that could mean decreasing stimuli. When you're comfortable, see what it feels like to melt. Just let your body drop. deepen our breathing. Any bits of movement that feel good to you that you'd like to do? When you are ready to fully move, make sure you take time to come to your side. Pause there for just a moment. And when you're ready, go ahead and lift yourself up, right? When you find a comfortable seat, let's bring our palms together. And one more time, notice the rhythm of your breathing and how it shapes your body. Can we just be embodied in our breath, in our sensations? Bring the mind's eye to someone that you would like to send your energy to. Open your heart. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.